Hello, welcome. My name is Tracy. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in Australia. Thank you so much for joining me. Today is Tuesday, so it's Case the Catalogue Day, and I have something really special for you all today. We are casing straight out of the new Stampin' Up Holiday Catalogue. Now, this went live on the 5th of September, so you're able to purchase from it right now. If you would like, and if you haven't seen the catalogue yet, you can jump on my online store, which is in the description of this video, and you can see the catalogue. If you don't already have a Stampin' Up demonstrator and you would like a copy and you live in Australia, if you just place any size order on my online store, I can send you one out. So we're focusing today on the front cover because I thought this card on the front cover is absolutely gorgeous, and we're doing this one right here. So I'm going to bring that card in. And here it is here. Now, I don't know whether you can notice straight away the difference. So if I bring that, there is a slight difference. So on my card, I have it on a very big angle, whereas it's not here. They have on either side part of this sentiment hanging over the side of the card. I didn't like that because I thought, well, if I'm putting that in an envelope, that's going to get squished or cut off. And I thought, well, I don't want to damage my card, so I've put it on more of an angle, and I think it looks just as good. So you could please yourself by leaving an overhang, but if you're going to mail it, I would suggest not having so much of the overhang. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the table so I can show you all the new products that we're using. So the supplies for this card, I'm using actually the suite from the new catalogue, which is called All Is Bright. This stamp set is called Merry Christmas to All, and it has 28 photopolymer stamps. As you can see, they are all very big stamps, and there's a coordinating thinlet set that you can save yourself 10% by buying the bundle. There is the words Christmas, Holiday, Merry, Happy, and there's 2 framelits, and we're using Christmas as well as that largest framelit there. We're also using the Festive Farmhouse Designer Series paper, and I'm just going to bring this one in. I've already used a few sheets, but what I really like is there's 2 wooden background pieces, but they're very much traditional Christmas colours, so reds, greens, all those sorts of things. It's all Mossy Meadow, Cherry Cobbler, Garden Green is in there as well, and very vanilla. I had that fanned out before, sorry about that. So I'll bring that up a little bit closer so you can see them. I have shown this paper before, so it's very, very pretty. Also using the Sweet Seasons washi tape, and we're using this gold star one here, which is really, really pretty. Also in the catalogue, which is new, is the shimmer paints, and we're using the Champagne Mist. There is 4 in the catalogue, so check those ones out as well. And the last thing that I just want to quickly show you as well is you can see some gold stars here. Now, I used a retired punch, which is the star border punch, but there is an alternative in the catalogue, which I just don't own, so I'll show you the alternative. The Twinkle Builder punch here, which has quite a few different stars. So I did find another alternative, but I just can't remember what it was now, so I couldn't find it. But that Twinkle Builder will do the same thing. So I have the card kit here as well, and you can find all the measurements and supplies on my blog, which is in the description of this video. There is also a link to my online store where you can purchase all your Stampin' Up supplies. If you are placing an order, please use the Hostess code for that month, which is also in the description, and I can send you out a free gift. So I have, because there's extra layers here on the Christmas, and I don't know how well that shows. Can you see that? I have also cut out a piece of foam, which is you can just buy from the $2 shops or from Spotlight Lincraft. So I've already cut out one of those, and I've also cut out 2 in the Mossy Meadow, just to give that extra dimension. We have a piece of the gold foil, which I'll cut out to go on top. We have a piece of Very Vanilla, a piece of Mossy Meadow, some vellum, a piece of the Designer Series paper, that Festive Farmhouse paper, and the card base is cherry cobbler. So let's get started. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to do the sentiment here in white embossing powder and heat set that, because then we're going to cut it out from the middle. You could, if you didn't want to muck around with doing the middle of your cardstock, because you're only seeing the edges here, you can use a separate piece, but I choose not to waste my supplies, so I'm going to show you how to do it in the middle. So because that's photopolymer stamps, I'm also going to bring in my foam mat, and I'm going to bring my embossing buddy in just to get rid of any static on that card. Using my Versamark ink, I have my stamp already lined up, the Cheer to You. I'm going to ink that up. I'm just going to get that in the middle there. And I have my white embossing powder in a container already. So no mess, all straight back into the container, which I really like. There we are. So I'm going to heat set that and I'll be right back. Okay, so that's all done. What we're going to do now is we're going to cut out our label. Now, as you can see, the die cut is too small for that sentiment, so we're only going to do partial die cutting. So I'm going to bring the big shot in and I'll show you how to do that. I'm also going to grab some washi tape, because I find if I hold my die down, it won't move into the wrong position. So I'm just going to take some of that sticky off, so I don't want it to rip. I'm going to line it up with the edge, so I'm going to make sure that the sentiment's in the middle of that die and towards the edge where I want it. So there's a bit of an overhang on the C. And I'm going to place it in. Now, on the end here where the edge of the die comes, if I put the cutting plate over the whole thing, it's going to cut the U off our U. So what I want to do is I want to bring the cutting plate in, and I want to stop the edge of that cutting plate just before hitting the edge of the die. So what's left not on the cutting plate is not going to cut out. So let's run that through. And take that off really. There we go. Which that cut out fine. Then what we'll do is we're going to line the grooves up with our die, with the grooves up that we've already cut, and I'm also going to place that edge of that die where I wanted it. So there's a little bit left over, the same as the end here. So they sit in the grooves really well. I'm going to place my washi tape down to make sure that that stays in place. Popping this down this way, and the same thing, we don't want the edge of the cutting mat to go over the edge of this die, so placing it in, so we've got the overhang there as well, running that one through. Hope that makes sense. Taking that off, and this should be, there we go. Beautiful. Just took that little bit off down the bottom, but that's okay, we can fix that. There we go. And that's our sentiment. Doesn't that look good? So the next thing we're going to do is shimmer paint, because it takes that little bit to dry. So we have the champagne mist, and I'm just going to shake that up just to mix that properly. Now I have a sponge that I'm going to use on the end, and I'm just going to swipe most of that off because I don't want a real lot. There's still heaps there. Putting the lid on this because I know I'll probably end up spilling it otherwise. And I'm just going to sponge the edges of my card. And doesn't that give that great shimmer? So the shimmer paint comes in 4 different colours: Vegas Gold, Champagne Mist, Frosted White, I think, and the 4th one. What's the 4th one? So I'm going to leave that to dry. That'll take a little bit to dry, so I'm just going to put that to the side. And that 4th colour, I have to look that up because I'm not sure. Bright Copper. So Bright Copper, Champagne Mist, Frost White, and Vegas Gold. And that's on the page 38 down the bottom there. So I'm going to bring the Big Shot back in and we're going to do all the rest of our die cutting. Starting off with the very vanilla piece and our stitched circle framelit. We'll do that one first. And I've already done 1 Christmas in the foam and 2 in the Mossy Meadow, so I'm going to do my gold one now. Placing that down, run this one through. Now I want to layer all these together, and I found if I layered a Mossy Meadow, then a foam, then went back with the Mossy Meadow and then put the gold on top, it just stuck a little bit better. So I'm going to do that again. Okay, so I've got the 3 layers together. I'm just going to put the glue on the back of the gold and then stick that down. And there we have it. So I've just stuck a clear acrylic block on top, and I'll just leave that for a couple of minutes just to get that to adhere properly. Okay, so we might work on our card now, and I have the Cherry Cobbler card base. So I'm just going to fold and burnish . And then what I did with the Mossy Meadow is I just curved the edges up a little, just to give it a little bit of extra dimension there. And I just did that all the way around. You don't see it everywhere, but where you can see it, it looks really good. There we go. So that's going to go on the angle there like that. So I'm going to just stick some glue on the back there. Make sure it's on the angle properly. And then the designer series paper is going to go on top just like that. So I'm also going to stick some glue on there. Placing that down. And then we're going to bring in some tear and tape. And I'm going to place on the back of that very vanilla circle, just going to stick some tear and tape down. And that'll go in the middle. And I also want to put some tear and tape down in behind that on the designer series paper to stick the vellum down. So there we go. So that's going to stick the vellum down, and the circle will go on top, so that'll hide the tear and tape because you will see it. Let's bring that down. See, the tear and tape does come through, but that's okay because I'm going to stick the circle down on top. Okay. And then we have the Cheer to You, which we're going to stick up with some dimensionals. Wrong one on this. There we go. I'm going to bring the Christmas in now too because that's all ready to go. And it all depends, you want to make sure that that's all in the card, so that sort of depends where it sits on that circle. But as I can see, that fits in really well, and I'm just going to put some glue on the HRIST and then the start of the M. So I'm just going to, same as I did put the layers together, I'm just going to put some dots on the back there. And the start of the M. You can do all the way along, but I found it didn't sort of need to. I'm going to stick that back on there for a second. Now bringing the washi tape in, we're just going to stick the ends of the washi, the ends of the vellum. So I'm just going to place some washi down to keep them down. I don't know about you, I always struggle finding the ends of the washi tape. And the top one. Then I can take the backings of the Cheer to You. And I'm going to place that there underneath. That should be fine. Should be stuck down now. Then I'm going to bring in my gold foil in and my punch, and I'm just going to punch out some stars there. So I sort of want that second size down, but I think I might do 2 of those and then one of the larger ones. And I'm going to use my new pick tool, which is this one here. It's in the catalogue as well. It has a putty end that helps you pick up these little embellishments to place down. And on the other end, this one has a spatula to pick up your dimensionals and your rhinestones, and has a pokey tool on that end as well. And it also comes with a couple of extra attachments, and I'll just bring them ones in. So you have an extra putty end, and then you have a stylus end that just places on the end. So you have the bigger ball and then the smaller ball. Now this tool is going to be a fantastic tool to have, and I highly recommend purchasing that one. So I'm going to bring in my fine tip glue pen, and I'm just going to place a little bit of glue there and then just down the bottom here as well. So I have 3 little dots of glue. Make sure you always put the lid back on this straight away. It dries out really fast. So then I'm going to just pick up my stars, do a large one down here, a small one, and then the other small one up top here. There we go. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed this card. It's been a couple of weeks since I last videoed, so I feel like I've fumbled through this quite a lot and made quite a few mistakes. So thank you so much for sticking through with me to the end. I really appreciate it. If you have liked this card, please give me a thumbs up and don't forget to leave me a comment. Don't forget, head over to my blog and you can find all the measurements and supplies over there. And until next time, see you later. Bye.